Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
The WNBA is clearly too soft to have sports fans. They are too soft to have a successful sports league. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. Appreciate all of your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19 real quick because I seen it again in the comments. The 19 last season, I made a criticism of Angel Reese as an athlete, talking about her lack of agility and the way she moves, just as an experience of someone who trains athletes. Nothing personal, not an attack, just talking about her movement, how it was not very fluid. And anyway, so of course, some Angel Reese fan attacked me, threatened me with physical violence if they should see me in person, and then came back later and said the only people who view my channel are my 19 cousins. So that is all of you that have been supporting this channel and helping it grow. And I really do appreciate you. So that is the shorthand. Shout out to the 19. Anyway, let's dig in. We had a little while back, we had Kalia Copper talking about, Dewana Bonner and being booed and how disgusting that is. And although she never did weigh in on a high school age Caitlin Clark getting, the overrated chant from the stands. And all Caitlin did was respond with dropping like 40 some points in that game. But anyway, so this is Ryne Howard after a game, and this is a few days old now. Sorry if you have seen it, but I wanted to comment. I wanted to get to this eventually. She's talking about a game against the Las Vegas Aces, because a lot of people in the stands were cheering for Asia Wilson because, of course, Asia Wilson went to South Carolina.
To try to compete and have a great game. Obviously there are runs, but you know this is a challenge. Like, we rely on our fans, and when they pick and choose who they want to cheer for and come in and make it feel like a away game for us and a home game for the other team, it's easy going to run like that. Especially with playoffs coming up, like, you want to come see Gamecocks, we have Gamecocks on our roster. The last game, we had MVP chance for one of our players. Don't get here and switch up because of one player. And yes, we do make mistakes, but it's easy to lose momentum when you have other people cheering against you. So that's hard to do.
Wow. Okay. So first of all, I have to point out that this actually sounds like something you would hear about Caitlin Clark, but no, she's talking about Asia Wilson. And she's like, well, we have Gamecocks, we have South Carolina players in our roster, root for them. But yo, this is just insane how soft and entitled these players are. And and cocooned and sheltered. And this is why I say they've never actually played in front of basketball fans. By the way, to say you rely on your fans when you've just played in a 3,200 seat arena all this time, except when you play Caitlin Clark, it's kind of interesting. But yeah, see, this is they're falling apart. Basketball fans are getting exposed to the WNBA, and many of them are starting to support it above and beyond Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. And these players do not know what to do with that. Here's the thing, Ryan, apparently you don't have a strong enough fan base in Atlanta that all of your fans are gonna turn out for you and overwhelmingly cheer for you. And by the way, because I get the feeling from this so well is that if they got booze, this would be that same type of reaction, kind of like the Kalia Copper of how disgusting it is. How dare you boo us? It hurts our feelings. But some away teams, whether it's for players like Caitlin Clark, but also there are teams that travel well. That is just the reality of it. And if you don't have the dedicated, rabid fan base that's gonna eat up those tickets, then you're gonna have a problem. And look, Golden State is an example of, yeah, they're turning out and they're supporting their expansion team in Golden State for home games. They're not really traveling though. So that's not going to happen with them. I'll give it to you real quick, right? We look at home attendance. Golden State is actually one, number one. But let's go to away attendance. Golden State's all the way down at the bottom. Now, Indiana was number two at home. Golden State, I think, actually seats more as well. But you can see they're number one away, and they average 5,000 more people per game away than the number two team, Phoenix Mercury. Now, of course, that is Caitlin Clark. But to the point with Ryan is when you play the Fever at home, that's what you're going to get. I can tell you this again, got to give a Philly example. A lot of Eagles away games feel like Eagles home games. They are one of the best traveling fan bases in the NFL, in sports, really. Um, the Philly fans will do that as well, but I mean, it's not the same because obviously the ton of baseball games, but and football is a little different. But that's just the reality of the situation that if you don't have that type of fan base for yourself, and you have these other teams that do, for example, the Indiana Fever, or it may be players, right? There's someone who's Asia Wilson is going to be popular in South Carolina. She won titles as a South Carolina Gamecock. That is just the reality of the situation. And if you think that those fans tuning out and cheering for Asia hurts your play, that's just I'm sorry, that's just absolutely bizarre and goes back to my the thing I've said many times before is y'all are not ready for a professional sports league. You simply aren't. If this is how you react to, we've seen reactions to booze, right? We had the whole narrative campaign about how it was the most unbelievably awful thing in the world. It was like the guillotine off with their heads in the French Revolution. That's what you would think would be happening from Fever fans booing Tawana Bonner. That's kind of how they tried to make you feel. Like that was the booing of Tawana Bonner was worse than the French Revolution. It was worse than Genghis Khan. It was worse than Attila the Hun. It was worse than that guy in that German country 90 years ago, 85 years ago. Uh, yeah, the booing of Dewana Bonner was worse. And then you got Ryne Howard following up, where it's kind of the flip side of that. They weren't booing the Atlanta Dream, but they were cheering for the opponent, which is kind of the same thing when you say two sides of the same coin, so to speak. I want to wrap this up with two quick things. I really want to hear what y'all think about the way that these players are reacting to fans. It's absolutely crazy. But we had this. This is after a game in Minnesota. This was last year, of course. I think it was the first time they played in Minnesota. So this is the post game. It's Caitlin doing the talking. The camera's, I guess, just nobody's manning the camera, I guess.
Well, the fans are awesome, man. I mean, how many Fever fans were here? It seemed like a lot of Fever fans. Are you saying there are a lot of Fever fans
There
here?
were a lot of Fever fans.
Yeah, there were a lot of Fever fans. They were cheering, going crazy. A lot of people that probably supported when I was here playing with Iowa, but I don't know. It's a great venue. Target Center's awesome. Well, the fans.
Kelsey, this was July of last year. Kelsey Mitchell's still in, she was still in her introvert mode, right? Eyes down, just kind of nodding along. And then we had this, and all you got to do is listen to this. This was after, I think, their triple double in Phoenix, but this is also what was going on during the game as well. Ryne Howard would be having a meltdown and end up in a mental institution if she has to deal with that. Hey, and that could be a matchup. I'm just saying that could be a matchup come playoff time, folks. We could get the Atlanta Dream. And here, I will leave you with this, even though it's a different topic, but I'll make it fast. I think that's a good matchup for the Fever. That's just one of those things that we don't seem to match up well with the Sparks, despite the Sparks maybe not even making the playoffs. But despite Atlanta being a top team this year, I think three right now, maybe two, the Fever matchup, especially if Caitlin Clark's coming back, they match up well with the Dream. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what your thoughts in the comments below about these players and how they handle fans. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Really do appreciate it. Go have the day you deserve. I will talk to you later.